Hello dear students to HSC online lecture initiative taken by Shet Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. I am Ms. Ragini Singh, Assistant Lecturer Biology, and today we are continuing with our chapter Enhancement in Food Production Part 3, and today's subtopic is Biofortification and Animal Husbandry. Now before I start, please be seated with your notebook and pen and pencil. Let's revise what we studied in the last module. Let us recollect few advantages of single cell protein, that is SCP. Your single cell protein, the very first advantage is high rate of multiplication. Since we are dealing with the microorganisms, and microorganisms multiplication rate is very high. For example, if you talk about the organism that is E. coli, it can divide within half an hour. It means in 30 minutes of time you will be getting 2 daughter cells of the E. coli. It consists of a high protein content because it has a high multiplication rate. The protein content will be also high, that is 43% to 85% weight by weight basis. It can be grown on the waste materials and it can be used as a substrate for single cell protein. It means there is not much of expense even to deal with the higher substrate, that is the higher money for this spending in the substrate. The last advantage is it serves as a good source of vitamins, amino acids, minerals, crude fibers, etc. So these are the 4 important advantages of the single cell protein. What is biofortification? Now when you talk about the biofortification, it is a method in which crops are produced, that is the crops are bred for having higher levels of vitamins, minerals and fats, that is better nutritive value. You are supposed to increase the nutritive value in terms of vitamins, minerals and etc. If you talk about all these crops, pulses, fruits and vegetables, the nutrient quantity in this is not that maximum. Biofortification method will make sure that the protein content, mineral content, vitamin content is reach to the sufficient level. So the main objective we consider for this breeding program, that is the protein content and quality should be high. The oil should be in the proper and the good content as well as quality which we obtain from the seeds, vitamin content and micronutrient content. Clear? So these are the 4 objectives of the breeding program. Let us understand examples of biofortified foods. The very first example is fortified maize having twice the amount of amino acids, and the particular amino acids are lysine and tryptophan. So this is fortified maize which consists of the amino acids lysine and tryptophan, and all the amino acids are very important in the development of our human body. Next example is wheat. Atlas 66, the hybrid wheat, has a high protein content and a iron rich rice which has a 5 times more iron. So this is wheat Atlas 66 and this is the fortified rice which have iron more than in the normal rice which we eat, and the iron content in this is 5 times more. Even if you have heard about one more type of rice which is called as golden rice, in the golden rice the amount of vitamin A is maximum, and the name has given golden rice because of its color which is more slightish yellow in color. So these are the 2 examples, that is wheat Atlas 66 and the example of the rice. Vegetable crops like carrot and spinach have more vitamin A and minerals. So this is carrot and this is spinach. Both this contain high quantity of the vitamin A. It is always suggested that if you have a eye problem, that is the specs problem, you can eat the vegetables like carrot so that the problem with respect to specs will not be there. But in the today's time, if you see, even the small children at the age of 4 years, 5 years, they are still wearing the specs, which is not good thing for them. It means even if they are having the balanced diet, they are not been getting the sufficient amount of vitamins, and that the requirement of the body is not fulfilled. Vitamin C enriched bitter gourd and tomato. This have been developed by IARI, which stands for Indian Agriculture Research Institute. What is animal husbandry? An animal husbandry, the first thing that we'll understand, animal breeding. Let us know the definition of breed. A group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters like general appearance, features, size and configuration. I repeat, a group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters like general appearance, features, size, configuration, etc. are said to belong to a breed. Breeding can be of two main types. One is inbreeding and second is outbreeding. Inbreeding involves breeding of the closely related individuals for 4 to 6 generations. Remember, inbreeding involves the breeding between the closely related individuals for 4 to 6 generations. Now, what are the important points related to this inbreeding? Inbreeding increases the homozygosity. See, if you are crossing the any breed for consecutive 4 to 6 years, of course you are going to get the pure line or the homozygosity. Second is, inbreeding is helpful in the elimination of harmful recessive genes and in the accumulation of superior genes. It has the demerit that it generally reduces the fertility and productivity because you are breeding them for continuous 4 to 6 generation, and second thing, they are very closely related, and since they are very closely related, it generally leads to the sterility. Look at this, the capital A stands for the dominant allele and small a stands for the recessive allele. What happens when there is an inbreeding taking place? You can see the recessive alleles have come together to give this future progeny. So this is the inbreeding example where you can see this is the male parent, suppose this is the female parent. This both them are having 3 babies, and out of these 3 babies, 2 are inbreeding within themselves. Since they are inbreeding, the chances of homozygosity increases, even the chances of sterility also increases. Now, what is outbreeding? The word outbreeding itself means it involves the breeding of unrelated animals. That's why the word has given out. The animals may be of the same breed but having no common ancestors for 4 to 6 generations. Outcrossing. It involves the breeding between the animals of different species. It is also known as interspecific hybridization. Why? Because inter means between the species. Outcrossing helps to remove the inbreeding depression. It means whatever problem or the demerit was seen in case of the homozygosity due to the inbreeding, that can be removed with the help of this outcrossing. If you talk about this 2 example, wherein a Cariolais bull is crossed with the Angus cow, now they both belong to the different species but they are similar breed. And the second example is this of the dog breeding. They are of same breed but they do not belong to the same species. If you take the example in today's time, there are many varieties of new dogs you can see. Example, a Labrador crossed with the Golden Retriever, where you find that they are the progeny which is obtained is the mixture of both. That the progeny looks like a Labrador, even it inherits the character of Golden Retriever, and the name to this new breed is given as Labrador Retriever. So this is the outcrossing in which the animal belongs to the same breed but of the different species. Crossbreeding. Now when you talk about the crossbreeding, it involves the breeding of the superior male. Now what do you mean by the superior male? Superior male means which is having all the desirable and the superior quality, such as good quality of the sperm, disease resistant, the progeny that is obtained from this male is of very high quality, is crossed with the superior female. Now superior female generally comes for the good childbirth. Second thing, good quality of the milk and the quantity of the milk produced. By crossbreeding, new animal breeds of desirable characters are developed. Look at this example. This is a Hisardale, a new breed of sheep. It is developed from crossing of Bikaneri Eves and Merino Rams in Punjab. Hisardale is a new breed of sheep developed from crossing of Bikaneri Eve and Merino Rams in Punjab. So this is the example of the cross breeding. If you look at the progeny, you can clearly see over here, it is showing the combination of both the parents, and that's why the term can be used over here is the hybrid vigor. Interspecific hybridization. It involves the breeding of animals of two different but related species. Let us understand with an example. Look here. Horse, that is the female horse crossed with the male donkey, will gives you mule. This mule is sterile, it means it cannot give birth to the future generation. So the mule is a breed obtained from horse, and the horse is female and donkey is male. Whereas if you interchange, that is male horse and female donkey, that time whatever progeny you are obtaining is called as hiney, that is Hinny. So this is the example of the interspecific hybridization. Artificial insemination technique. The word itself explains what is artificial insemination technique. Now what happened in this artificial insemination technique is that the sperm is taken from an allied bull. Now what do you mean by allied bull? It means the sperm quality is very good and the progeny that is going to be coming up from this type of the bull is going to be of very desirable and the good quality. I have to collect the sperm from this allied bull and I would be artificially inseminating in the desirable cow. What happens? I have took the sperm from the allied bull and I would be artificially inseminating into this cow. So what happens once the artificial insemination is done? There will be the fusion of the egg and sperm, and once the fusion is done of the egg and sperm, I will be resulting it into the zygote, and from the zygote there will be the development of the embryo. Now what I can do is that either I will allow this particular embryo to be developing in the particular cow, or else I will be placing this embryo into the surrogate mother, so that again I can get this cow of the good quality eggs which is producing to fertilize with this allied bull sperm. In this diagram you can see how the artificial insemination via very thin needle is taking place, and the sperm is actually transferred into the uterus where the fertilization is going to take place. So this is the procedure of artificial insemination technique. The second technique is MOET, that is multiple ovulation embryo transfer. A multiple ovulation embryo transfer. What does this mean? In this, if you see, this is the donor of high genetic merit. It means they are going to produce the genetic material, that is the sperm or the egg of the good quality. I would be injecting with the FSH, that is the follicle stimulating hormone. Now once the injection of FSH is given, the super ovulation take place, and once the super ovulation is taken place, I will be able to collect the egg and I will be able to artificially inseminate via the sperm of this allied bull. Once this is done, I would be getting the fertilization product, that is the zygote, and the development of the embryo, and once the embryo is developed, I can again transfer it to the new cow, or which will be acting as a foster mother. It means whatever offspring I am getting will be of a high genetic merit. So this is the technique of multiple ovulation embryo transfer. One thing remember, as human beings undergo the menstrual cycle, these mammals, that is the cow and all, they undergo the estrus cycle. Clear? What is this estrous cycle? We will be studying in the detail in chapter human reproduction. This is one of the very important technique, multiple ovulation embryo transfer. Now, dairy farm management. Now, when you talk about the dairy farm management, you are supposed to set up a farm. Now, once you want to set up a farm, what will be the requirement? See, this answers you can write as per your own thinking and whatever you feel is the important points. Now, for the dairy farm management, suppose I am opening a farm collective of the cows and bull, as well as the buffalo. So what will be the very first requirement? I would be requiring a proper space. Second requirement will be the infrastructure, because wherever I will be keeping this cattle, there should be a sufficient ventilation, proper sunlight should be reaching, and these cows and buffaloes, they have the habit of removing the cow dung and frequent urination. So the slope that will be provided, it should be proper designed in such a way that the cleanliness is very easy to be done. They require lot amount of the water to clean themselves, so there should be an arrangement of the proper water supply. Second thing, if you are talking about the food, which is very important, you should give them a good quality of the grasses inclusive of proteins. Even the medicine should be also added. The water supply should be very clean, it should not be contaminated, otherwise what will happen? Your cattle farming, that especially the cattle, they will start falling sick. There should be regular medical checkup related to this cows and buffaloes. A veterinarian doctor should be always been there and it should be available during the emergency also. So these are the important points related to the dairy farm management. Now let us understand the Indian breed of cows. Now which are the Indian breeds and which are now the exotic breeds? The very first Indian breed is Sahiwal. Second Indian breed is Sindhi, and the third Indian breed is Gir. Now the importance of this Indian breed of cow was that they were indigenous. Second thing, the quality of the milk that they used to give is very superior. That is the protein content, the calcium content is very high. Of course the quantity produced would be bit less, but the quality of the milk would be very good. Now if you talk about the exotic breeds of cow, here you can see the first is Jersey, second is Brown Swiss, and third is Holstein. Now this exotic breed of cow has come into the picture. The reason behind that is they are giving you the quantity of the milk, and due to the overgrowth and overpopulation of our country, the quantity of milk that is required can be sufficiently achieved by this exotic breed of cows. Yes, but with respect to the quality, it is always advisable to go with the Indian breeds of cow. Now let's talk something related to the buffaloes. Breeds of buffaloes. The very first breed you can see Jafrabadi, it is very native to Gujarat. Second is Mehsana, and third is Murrah. Now if you look at the Jafrabadi, look at its horn. Generally the buffaloes are being distinguished with respect to the horns. Their horns is basically low line. They are broad and flattened, whereas if you talk about the Mehsana and Murrah, their horns are short and even the sickle shaped horn. So these are the three breeds of buffaloes. Remember, Jafrabadi, Mehsana and Murrah. Let us see more breeds of buffaloes. Other three breeds of buffaloes are Nagpuri, Neeli and Surti. Look at the horn of the Nagpuri breed. Can you see it's a very long and it is tilted towards the back side. Whereas Neeli, again it has a small horn, whereas the Surti has a typical horn. So with respect to the horn, you can actually remember which type of buffalo it is. So it is Jafrabadi, Mehsana, Murrah, Nagpur, Neeli and Surti. You are supposed to remember the name of these breeds of buffaloes. In exam they can ask you the name of the buffalo's breed. I hope till now everything was very clear, because now the time is to test your brain. So your very first question is MOET is technique is used for, and your option are production of hybrids, inbreeding, outbreeding or outcrossing. You can pause your video, write down the answer and again play the video. Now this multiple ovulation embryo transfer technique is used for outbreeding. Even the answer can go for the production of hybrids. Second question is mule is the outcome of inbreeding, artificial insemination, interspecific hybridization or outbreeding. And the answer is interspecific hybridization. Your last question is define breed. The breed are a group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters like general appearance, feature, size, configuration, etc. are said to belong to a breed. Now it's a time for some assignment for you all, that is the homework for you all. And the today's assignment is you are supposed to write down the principles of farm management, and second you will enlist the name of exotic and Indian breed of cows as well as buffaloes. You can write down the names of buffaloes also. For this you can refer your 12th standard textbook. Even you can go with respect to this module once again. I hope this module was very helpful to you. Thank you for attending this module. We will be again coming back with the part 4 of this chapter, that is enhancement. Thank you.